So Ryan Day just spoke at a press conference after the Buckeyes' first week of spring practices, and he talked about a lot of stuff. The main question for almost everyone still is who is going to be taking snaps under center come week 1. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to cover what Ryan Day said about the new coaching hires, players, recruits, and so much more. But before I get into everything, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so Ryan Day opened up the press conference by emphasizing the positive atmosphere surrounding the team during the early stages of spring practice in 2025. He noted that while it's certainly early, the energy has been notably good, attributing this to both the players and the coaching staff. And even though this may not seem like a big deal, let's take a look at what Kirby Smart's opening press conference looked like.
Y'all just waiting on the players? What do y'all want, guys? I mean, save me some time here. I can go home.
Yeah, Coach, how was the first week of practice, and what were your initial takeaways?
Long way from good. We are a work in progress.
So yeah, even though like I said it is early and what Ryan Day said may not feel like a big deal, it's good to see the energy in the right place. Specifically, he highlighted the presence of some new faces among the coaches, suggesting recent hires or role changes. Though he didn't name them initially beyond Patricia later, Day expressed confidence in the staff's preparation for practices and organizing sessions. He also praised the team's leadership, stating, "It's been good, with players showing dedication." He described practices as having a lot of juice, with a lot of people moving around with a purpose, painting a picture of high energy, intentional work. He added that this vibe has been well received externally, as recruits and their families who observe practices have provided great feedback on the team's work ethic and operational style, which Day sees as a recruiting advantage. When asked about current players participating in Ohio State's Pro Day on Wednesday, Day confirmed that some roster members would indeed join the event. He speculated that Carnell Tate and Brandon Innes might participate to help with drills, particularly to support star receiver Emeka Egbuka. He also suggested Will Howard could be involved, though he deferred final decisions to strength coach Mickey Maratti, saying Mick's still finalizing that, and Day's guess was that these three, Tate, Innes, and Howard, might be the extent of it, but he left room for adjustments. Day was also asked about offensive lineman Austin Siereveld, noting his Iron Buckeye award from winter conditioning and questioning if he's being overlooked as a potential starter. Day responded to that question enthusiastically, saying, "I hope so," indicating optimism about Siereveld's trajectory. He explained that Siereveld is in his 3rd year, a point where many players historically take the next step at Ohio State, citing the developmental arc of past stars. The Iron Buckeye award is a great sign of his work ethic and physical progress. Day noted that between the national championship on January 20th and spring practice starting about a week ago, Siereveld has shown a different demeanor, a different look in his eye, a different approach, suggesting mental growth alongside physical gains. However, Day cautioned that Siereveld's on-field performance this spring will ultimately determine his role, saying, "What he puts on the field here this spring is yet to be determined, but affirmed he's done everything right so far." Day also was asked about the 2022 recruiting class, pointing out that only 7 of the original 21 signees remain. With linebacker Sonny Styles being an unexpected returnee, Day admitted he'd recently reviewed this class and attributed it to a combination of factors: the talent of the 2021 class ahead of them and the 2023 class behind, plus some veterans opting to return in 2024, which clogged up depth chart paths. He didn't specify names beyond Styles, but suggested some players left early in their careers while others departed later, possibly via the transfer portal or eligibility exhaustion. Day acknowledged that for whatever reason, that group never made it up the chart. He stressed the importance of the remaining 7 stepping up in 2025, especially after last year's championship, to salvage the class's legacy. And then for the most important part of 2025, as I promised, going away from Day's press conference, let's talk about the QB situation, because initially, if you know me, I was completely on the Julian Sayin hype train, but recently there has been some buzz about linking Keinholz. I think right now Sayin can make any throw from anywhere on the field. I think he has the upper advantage, but Keinholz is the one with the mobility that can really scramble in the pocket. I know the coaching staff is not even close to deciding who wins the competition, and they shouldn't be, because there is a lot of time before week 1. And honestly, I'm looking at this in 2 ways. You want a guy who can scramble, but then at the same time, you have to put the guy out there that can make the best passes to Jeremiah Smith. And in my opinion, that would be Julian Sayin. So I still think right now he is the edge, but only time will tell. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Now moving on to Matt Patricia, Day described him as bringing a lot of energy and focusing on building relationships with players. He noted positive feedback from players who really enjoy the conversation and extra time Patricia spends with them one-on-one, leveraging his extensive NFL experience, notably with the Patriots. Day said Patricia's credibility speaks for itself, and players recognize this. Now getting to know him personally, recruits have also responded well to meeting him, which Day also sees as a recruiting boost. On the field, the defense is just starting to dive into some of the different things and concepts they can do, with Day citing a couple of good things so far in the helmets practice, though he didn't elaborate on specifics. Tony Herman of Buckeye Huddle asked about linebacker Logan George, a rare FCS transfer from Concord University, and Day explained that George hails from the same hometown as former star linebacker Tommy Eichenberg from Chagrin Falls, and after reviewing his film, Day was impressed by George's hard-playing, physical, and tough style, and upon meeting him and his family, Day found their values aligned with Ohio State's, emphasizing character fit alongside talent. George joined late last season, contributing in the final 2 games, and has excelled in the weight room and earned a lot of people's respect despite his very serious demeanor, marking him as a cultural and on-field asset. Also, Stephen Means of Cleveland.com asked about the spring showcase, noting other programs are skipping traditional games to avoid exposing players to tampering. But Day affirmed his intent to hold a spring game on April 12th, saying, "My plan is to have a spring game, though he reserved wiggle room for injury adjustments. He argued it's essential for young players to compete, with the season opener against Texas just about 160 days away. The format will likely mirror past years, offering fans a chance to see the team, and Day anticipates a great crowd with great things planned, balancing tradition with roster health." And I just love that as a fan of the game, because I hate the way things are going where everyone's just canceling the spring game. I think it's a big part of building anticipation for the upcoming season. And now to talk about Jeremiah Smith, because I can't make any Ohio State video without at least somewhat mentioning him. Day was asked if he challenged the freshman star after the championship to keep improving, and Day confirmed Smith was the first freshman Iron Buckeye and repeated it in 2025, a rare feat reflecting his discipline. He praised Smith's talent, but highlighted his daily choices, body care, effort, intensity, attitude, all those things, as what sets him apart. And he cited a special teams drill where Smith's effort inspired younger players like Quincy Porter and Des Jones, urging him to grow vocally to bring guys with him. And then for Caleb Downs, Day said his ability to teach reflects mastery of the game. He said that he continues to enhance his own understanding of the game and keeps the young players engaged with him. He predicted Downs could coach in 30 years, citing his intelligence and discipline, and being a student of the game along with his pure talent is why he is going to be a top 10 pick in the future, depending on the market for his position. So that's really all I have to say for this video. I wanted to keep it super informative. I wanted to speak in facts and just kind of recap what Ryan Day said in his press conference, as well as everything going on with the team. I think the Buckeyes are going to be back and better than ever in 2025, but only time will tell, and I am super stoked to see how the team responds to the coaching overhaul. That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.